Super activated new day in the land of the living. Welcome back to my channel. And today I'm going to show you how to add 6 effect sends to a song that we've already completed. And instead of just doing it, I'm going to show you why each of these 6 effect sends is in everything I produce. All right, let's talk about send and return effects inside of Reason Studios. So what exactly is a send and return effect? Think of it as the way to share one effect across multiple tracks. As you see on the screen, we have multiple tracks here and there's send effects for each one of them. We use the send and return effect so we don't have to put that effect on each single track over and over again. We can just put it one time and have it apply to all of those channels. Here's how it works. On the mixer, you'll see these 8 send and return effects on each channel. Each number corresponds to the position of where the send effect is routed in the SSL console. You also see that there is a dial here that adjusts how much of that signal is sent to the channel. To get a fuller understanding of this, we're going to go to the back of the rack, and the way you do that in Reason Studios is we're now going to go to the rack, we're going to bring that up, and we're going to click tab. Once we click tab, we get to see the back of the rack, and if you notice, we see those numbers again, 1 through 8. Those are our 8 send and return effects. This is for the send and this is for the return. Each one of these will be where we put and route the effects that we pick and choose for this song that we have in this session. Now that you know what a send effect is and how we're going to route that send effect, let's get into loading our first send effect. To load our first send effect, what we're going to want to do is go to browser. Now once you're in browser, you have instruments, you have effects, you have utilities, and you have players. We're going to want to use effects, and then we're going to scroll through the built-in devices, and the first send effects that we're going to pick is going to be this Audiomatic retro transformer. And all we have to do is just drag and drop it in, and when we drag and drop it in, and let's click tab, we're going to automatically see that it's been routed for us. It makes it really simplified. It's not that complicated. Now you can route yourself and manually do this if you have some more complicated send effect chains that you want to create in the future, and we may do a video about that later on if you let us know in the comment section if that's something that you're interested in. But for this basic video of just how to set up the 6 send effects, all you have to do is pick it, drag it, drop it into the rack, and then once it's dropped into the rack, Reason's technology does everything for you and routes it to the proper corresponding location. And for this one, this is our first send effect. The second send effect that we want to use for this setup is going to be a saturation send effect. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back to browser and we're going to scroll through. This is not a built-in device. This is actually a paid-for device, and it is by Softube. They make some really good tools. So we want this Softube saturation. And so now we'll just drag it, drop it. We'll confirm that it's been routed to where we would like it to go. Let's go back to the mixer. And now you can see that our Audiomatic, it is there. And this initial patch is the saturation. You may have noticed that they weren't labeled anything specific. So let's just label those. Call that tape, and let's just load one of the presets. Let's load warm up. Nice. So now when we look in the mixer on the SSL console, for the slot 1, it's tape. For slot 2 is warm up. So now let's get to the third one. Again, more of the same. Let's go back to browser. We're in effects. And the third send effect that we want to use is a graphic equalizer. So let's scroll through. It's down here further to the bottom, and it's this nice Synapse GQ7. And then what we do is we drag it in. We close the browser, press tab. You see that's routed to 3, that left, right, that input, and that output. And this is a great lesson also, and we enjoy Reason for doing this. It teaches us signal flow in a way that's visual and makes it more easy to kind of follow along. Now, the more sophisticated and complex your tracks get, and the more tracks that you have, the more complex the signal flow gets. But in these basic stages, when we're only dealing with either 8 send effects, and in this instance, we're only be using 6 of the 8, we don't have to get overwhelmed by having too many signals and too many cables for the effects that we're going to use. Now, the 4th send effect that we're going to add is an exciter. And so we'll just get back to effects and we'll scroll down until we find it. This we think is made by Red Rock Sound. None of these videos are sponsored. These are tools that we use every day when we mix and when we work with products, and we just like what they are, and so we have no incentive to tell you about them. But these are just really nice tools. So we found the exciter. We're going to drag that in, we're going to drop it. And we always want to confirm that our signal flow is right. So we want to look for the audio in and for the audio out. And then we want to follow that up to make sure that it routed to the right location. If it's going into the input of 4, we want to make sure that the output is going into 4 as well. And since we can confirm that is the case, we can move on to our 5th send effect. We're going to go back to browser, we're going to go to effects, and for our 5th send effect, we're going to look for the RV7000, and that is this right here. We're going to drag that in, we're going to drop it, we're going to close the browser, and then we're going to press tab, and we're going to confirm that our audio input and our audio outputs are going to the proper corresponding slot for the effects send and for the effects return. And that's 5 and that's 5, so that's perfect. Let's get on to the 6th and last one. For the 6th and last send and return effect, and we're going to add another RV7000. We're going to drag it and we're going to drop it. We're going to close browser, we're going to click tab. We're going to confirm that the audio input and the audio output are going where they need to be, and they are. We're going to tab, flip back again to the rack. Let's go back to the mixer, and now we can confirm that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 effects in our effects return. And so if we want to activate these effects to hear what they sound like, all we have to do is click on these buttons here. We can click it to have it pre-fader or after the fader. We like to make sure the effect is after the fader, and we have these dials here that allows us to dial it in. Now that we've been able to identify and route our effects into our send and returns, let's hear what they sound like when activated on a track. At this time, it's going to get a little bit louder, so if you need to turn your volume down on your device, this would be the perfect time to do that. So, let's click 1, let's click 2, let's click 3, click 4, click 5, and 6. Now you may notice at first it didn't sound like it made any difference. But then once we started getting to those effects, like the reverb, you could really hear that it was really activating on the signal flow of the audio going through that channel. And that channel specifically, that's our all bus. So everything that we have bus in this song, we have going into that bus, so which allows us to put those send effects on everything. If we didn't want to place those send effects on everything and we wanted to put them specifically on certain channels, we could do that. But what we like to do to have cohesion in our songs is certain effects we want on everything. But the amount that we have it on everything, that's what we use the dials for. So in this next section, what we're going to do is we're going to use the dials to activate. So it's not too much or it's not too little, but it sounds just right. Right. So you see, as we dial it back, it's not as present. We look at these LED lights right here. We want them triggered just a little bit. instead of stacking 2 and 3 separate reverbs that take up a whole lot of CPU, you get the advantage of using one that every channel can tap into. Plus, this keeps your mix more consistent, so everything is running through the same effect. So the next time you're mixing, try setting up your delays or your reverbs as send and return effects. Then use those sends to dial in just the right amount for each one of those tracks. This is a really powerful way to add depth and clarity without cluttering up your sessions. If you made it to this part of the video, thanks a ton. And if you learned something today that you didn't know yesterday, that's a wonderful thing. And that's really what this channel is all about. Do me a solid and drop a comment and let me know if there's anything that you would like me to go deeper on, or if there's anything specifically inside of Reason Studios that you want to know more about, or music production, songwriting, rapping and producing in general. I'm always checking the comments, and your feedback helps me shape future videos. I have more tutorials like this one on the channel and plenty more in the works, so definitely stay tuned for that. And don't forget to check out my shorts too. That's where I actually share the final product of the songs that I produce. Thanks again for watching. May this reach you up, happy, and healthy in the land of the living. Much love, respect, and peace in